In this episode, we're going to be talking about the secret killers of connection. 3 reasons your marriage feels off. Are you tired of your marriage not growing? You're not alone. Welcome to Why Your Marriage Isn't Growing, a podcast helping couples reignite their relationship, break free from the trap of just getting along, and rediscover the joy and passion they once had. Welcome back to another episode of Why Your Marriage Isn't Growing. Hi, my name is Pastor Greg.
Hi, my name is Evangelist Carolyn.
We'll be uncovering quiet issues often go unnoticed, but slowly destroy connection between spouses. Carolyn, you want to share with the audience about the main takeaways?
Yeah, here's what you'll take away from today's episode. How unspoken expectations sabotage connection, why emotional avoidance creates distance, and the subtle way pride interferes with vulnerability.
Pride before the fall. Can you share a little bit about what the stakes and the opportunities are really going to be about?
Not every disconnection is loud. Some grow silently over time. Recognizing these silent killers may be the breakthrough your marriage needs.
Recognizing some of these silent killers. And the best way we can tell you to do that, pay attention to these points we're going to share with you, because a lot of these points we share are definitely some things that we have been using. Point number 1 is the unspoken expectations. And what that looks like is expecting your spouse to know what you need without ever saying clearly. You're expecting her basically
To read
your mind, and no one can read your mind. And in the scripture, Amos says it clear. In Amos 3:3 says, can 2 walk together unless they agree? And basically, agreement requires clear, honest communication. Honest communication, meaning take the mask off and be honest, upright, and coming with that person. And basically, when you do that, all you have to do is just make a list of expectations you've had but haven't shared. So you got a lot of stuff that's been building up, but you ain't been sharing for some kind of way. You've been disconnected. Those are the secret killers that allow you not to be connected. And then you calmly walk through them together. The same thing you and I always talk about in the cliche, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So we want you to address that elephant in the room and eat it 1 bite at a time.
In that list of expectations, how many should they write down?
Well, I would say the magic number would be, for me, 3.
Okay.
Everything is done in 3. Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
I got you.
Write down in 3s. The simpler you make it, the easier it is. When you make it complicated, nobody wants to do it.
Okay. So let me talk about point number 2.
The emotional avoidance.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. That's deep.
Because we do avoid a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Avoiding vulnerable conversation out of fear of conflict, rejection, or not knowing how to express what you feel. So in other words, you feel something, but you don't want to say nothing. Kind of like that thing they tell you, see something, say something.
See something, say something.
But that's where we're failing in marriages. We see it, but we don't say it. Why? Because we're feeling vulnerable and we're thinking the person's going to reject what we say.
And a lot of us got fear of failure. We don't want to disappoint that person. So I always use this analogy all the time. The rug, sweeping everything up under the rug until one day you trip over. You'll hear that said a lot of times on a lot of our podcasts. And David said this real clear in Psalms 34, verse 18. He reminds us that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted. Avoid emotion doesn't keep peace. It prevents healing. And you've heard me say this before, and a lot of people just don't understand. The first form of healing is to be true to yourself. If you can't be true to yourself and take that mask off, then how can you attempt to sit down with that person and say, hey, we need to do this. You done wrote these 3 things down, but you haven't even dealt with your own issues. You got issues. That person has issues. Let's come together on a common ground on this thing.
So one of the things we want to do is to set a
no fixed talk.
Each of the spouses gets 5 minutes to share their feelings while the other listens without interrupting or solving.
That sounds simple and it sounds easy, but we're talking 5 minutes of that person not saying a thing. So the best thing you can do so you can be fair with this is just adhere to this. Don't interrupt them.
Don't interrupt.
Practice it. Sit there. You'll get your turn.
You'll get your turn.
And you can say what you're going to say. I can say what I'm going to say. And then we can both come together. Because the whole purpose of this exercise is to get a resolution to kill the silent killers of connection.
Mm.
When you do that, then you won't have no problems. Now, you're going to have situations and circumstances that are going to come up, but at least you got a blueprint
And a plan.
and a plan to go by. This is huge right here when it says get 5 minutes to share your feelings.
And sometimes you got situations where the one spouse feels like they never get to say what's on their mind.
Which brings us to point number 3, pride blocking vulnerability. And it comes with pride before the fall. Because when you allow yourself to be so prideful, you don't even want to go past go.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, withholding apology softens or emotional openness because it feels like weakness or giving in. And that, I would say, just from my own personal dealings, men don't want to feel vulnerable. They don't want to feel weak. They want to be looked at as the stronger of the two. So they don't want to let down their guard because they think that it's a sign of weakness.
So why does it matter?
Solomon, if you didn't know this, in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 2, he says, when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom. Vulnerability is the doorway to deep connection. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's okay. You can't be right all the time. You cannot.
But it's nice to be right some.
Yeah, that was one of our biggest problems.
Yeah.
You and I were just butting heads. So that's why we do these podcasts week after week, so we can share what matters, why you should do these things, and giving you action steps. So basically, share something that's been hard for you to admit out loud. See, like I always say, live your life out loud. Big or small, haven't seen this or said it, but it matters. No matter if I've seen this before, I've said this before, or we've never crossed this bridge, it still matters. It matters. See, action steps, if you don't put action steps into play, then guess what happens? Because everything done in secret and silent is going to come back to bite you. It's the rug analogy. Keep on sweeping it on the rug. At some point, you're going to trip over it. Then you're going to be like, whoa, you know what? I should address that 90 days ago.
And, you know, one of the things I want to say is that in that 5-minute conversation, you will find that things come out that you was like, for real? That's really bothered you?
We put it on the rug syndrome because you're sitting there. You know what happened? Something happens. You shrug it off. Then something happens, I shrug it off. And then we keep in like 2 shifts passing in the night. So share with the audience a real good connection moment.
Well, connection isn't lost in one moment.
I love that.
In other words, connection got lost. It didn't happen because of one incident.
Say that, girl.
Yeah, it fades in the moments we stay silent.
That's good.
Healing begins when we give our marriage the honesty and humility it deserves.
This is the part I like, when we give our marriage the honesty and humility that it deserves. Because if you really want to solve these issues and cut out the disconnection, you will address these silent killers. But if you don't, then these things will continue to hurt and hamper in your marriage because, one, you don't want to practice humility. Let me recap. Notice everything is done in threes because 3, unspoken expectations create hidden tension. That's big. About unspoken, then here's one. Avoiding feelings only increases distance. So you don't talk about it. You going this way. You say, I don't want to talk about it.
When you increase that distance, see, today it's a foot, tomorrow it's a yard, and then a month or 2 from now it's a mile. Got to deal with that distance.
I love that. I love that part. I keep talking about this all the time, but it bears repeating, not buying into that tripping on the rug mentality. Pride prevents vulnerability, which is the key to closeness. Ultimately, if you want to be close, you chose that person for whatever reason. And so now, for some kind of way, y'all have grown apart and you've allowed these silent killers to come in and disconnect. We want to be able to share with you, it's definitely from a biblical perspective, how you need to connect so your marriage don't feel like it's off. And y'all can get back to that first day y'all met each other. Like you and I, we going on 40, and we still like each other. We still hang out with each other. Now, we don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we understand what it means an effective and clean and wholesome, faithful, communicated marriage. So I'm going to let you close out this episode, the silent killers of connection.
Well, we have to be committed. We have to make sure we don't let those unspoken expectations create hidden tension. We have to avoid feelings that increase the distance. And my favorite one is pride prevent vulnerability to closeness.
Amen.
Anybody who's married who doesn't want to be close doesn't make any sense.
Touchy-feely.
I like touchy.
You like touchy-feely?
I do.
Is that one of
That's
your
my
love?
love
That's one of
language.
your love.
That's
And
my-
if y'all can't see it, because I know you can't see it, there's a lot of touching and feeling going on this podcast. So
I love being.
we definitely want to thank you for tuning in. If this has helped you recognize patterns in your own marriage, share it with a friend or a spouse. Follow us for more Christ-centered marriage every Monday and every Thursday. Subscribe to find us, and we definitely look forward to speaking with you next episode of Why Your Marriage Isn't Growing, Christian Couples Guide to Rekindling Love, Faith, and Connection.